Hey guys, Melhorn here. Ever since I did my first video on lithium batteries, it's been very interesting to see the feedback that I've gotten from you guys. And it's also been interesting the response that I've got from some different lithium battery companies. Now, most of them are based overseas in China, and they've reached out to me with different batteries. And I brought up some questions about different problems that we have as boaters and what we're looking for. One of the companies that reached out to me was GoldenMate, and they sent me this, what they call the Orion 1000. I'm going to take it out of the box here and look at it. I've got another one that I've been playing around with. I just want to show you what is inside the box, what comes with this thing. These batteries are a little different than some of the other ones I've had. One of the ones that I use on my lawn has the Bluetooth compatible features to where I can see everything on my phone. I really like that. The trade-off is that battery is very expensive. On the other end, I've looked at some batteries and talked about them here on the show that are very inexpensive. The downside is you have no idea how much power is left in the battery. This one is kind of a hybrid, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's get it out of the box here. These things are not as heavy as a regular lead acid battery. Open this baby up. But they're a little bit heavier, and this one's a little bit heavier mainly because of the case design. It comes with some connectors here. We'll talk a little bit about that. Some stuff there you can tap on. It even comes with an instruction book, which I'll probably read later. Open this baby up here. Well packed, well put together. You can see right there as soon as we open it, something's a little different on it, and that's this LED screen that is on here. So let me get this baby out of the box. Boom. There we go. That is it right there. It comes with some protective connectors on here, which I like these little babies. Basically it threads on there so that it keeps anything from shorting out. You can also use it to tighten down on top of your connectors that you put on there. The great thing about the lithium batteries is you can turn them on their side and not have to worry about acid leaking out everywhere. It comes with some rubber feet on it, and pretty good looking case design. This is a 12-volt battery. It's the lithium iron phosphate technology. That is the new stuff. 12.8 volts and 100 amp hours. And this again is the Orion 1000 is their name on this one. This is comparable to other batteries that I've tested and used as far as the power goes. Initially, they sent these batteries so that I could put two of them together and run a 24-volt trolling motor. Now, due to some charging issues that I can foresee with the number of chargers that I've got for this type of battery, I decided not to go with that. Now, something you've seen right there, I tap onto that screen and it pulls up some information. All I have to do is touch the screen and I can see how much power I've got left. Some of the less expensive batteries, you really don't know how much power you have left. The 24 volt that I run in my lawn, I can use my app on my phone to look at it. But with some of the cheaper ones, that's been my issue, is that I don't know how much power I've got left. Now on my Lowrance unit, I can see where the voltage is, but you kind of don't know where that is in relation to how much usage you have left on it. This one gets you closer. The other cool thing about this one is there's also an app that gives you a lot more information on exactly where everything stands with the battery. I've got it turned on for this one, and you can see I'm getting the same reading on the voltage as is on the screen, and it gives you some of the charging data, some of the temperatures. These all have the the BMS system in them, the battery management system, basically the brains, the board that controls the charging and controls when it allows it to charge. These things have some charging parameters to where you don't want to be charging down when it's extremely cold, and it will put parameters in place that won't allow that to happen, so you don't damage the battery. That's one thing to keep in mind with all of the lithium batteries, is that if you're in extremely cold conditions, the batteries need to be at a stable, higher temperature, usually above freezing, to see just, to make sure they charge correctly. And it's one thing about the BMS, it monitors all that stuff to make sure you don't damage the battery using it. But I like that simple function just to look at it. I don't have to pull the app up or anything like that to see what's going on and know what's happening with it. So it's a plus function on this battery. I'm going to put this on the boat and run my electronics off of it. It will give me a good idea of how much I've got. In the past with lead acid batteries, I would come back from a fishing trip, throw everything on charge, go through another charge cycle. With these, I really don't do that. The battery that I've been using on my trolling motor, I have basically been running it down to somewhere in the 40% range, 30% range, which for me has turned out to be multiple trips. I found the same thing with this battery. We ran it down at the coast when we were doing some saltwater fishing recently. We were down there staying for about a week. I think we ran 5 trips up in some of the creeks, a little bit offshore, a little bit near shore. I never charged the battery. Had enough power to run the whole week. One of the things I used to hate when going down there was, depending on where I parked my boat, I would have to lift the batteries out of the boat, take them somewhere and charge them if I didn't have electricity. With these things, you can get a lot of power and a lot of life. The other thing is, if you do have to lift them out to charge them, they're really not that heavy. Compared to a lead acid battery, you can move these things around a lot easier. So this is a neat alternative. I'm going to put you some links in the description where you can check it out if it's something you're interested in getting. But it gives you some options as far as having something that you can at least have an idea on where that power's at and how much you got left. So one worth checking out. There's a lot of options out there right now, and I'm going to try to give you some input on some different ones, and you can make a decision for yourself on what you need and what you want. This one, it'll have some pricing information on it, and I think if you get it, I think you'll be happy with it. One of the things that is cool on this one, it has a nice sturdy handle here for picking it up and moving it around and getting it to where you need. I found that a lot of times the thing I do now is I carry an extra lithium battery with me, one of the less expensive models, so that I can swap batteries out. Now that I got 2 of these, I'm going to have one in one boat that's going to be powering electronics, one in the other boat that's doing the same, that I can keep an eye on. I'll probably pull out those other batteries and use those as a backup. The great thing about these things is you can get into them so affordably now that you can afford to get one. Let's say you're carrying a bait tank in your truck that you're transporting bait back and forth with. You can use it to power that. You can use one to run bubblers and stuff in a live well that is on your boat while you're waiting overnight to go fishing. So they're in an affordable range now, and that's kind of the good thing about it. That's one thing I said when I first started doing some podcasts and stuff about these batteries, was that I think they're going to come into an affordable range, and they have. There's still some expensive ones out there, but a lot of these have come down to a price point that you can afford. So something to think about, something to consider. Check them out.